Would you please tell me who you are, why you're here, and how do you fit into the whole Catholic worker concept?
I'm not sure. But my name's Richard Flamer. I run a small Catholic worker farm in Chiapas, Mexico. And I've been trying to figure out what it is that Catholic workers do for the last 20 years at various Catholic workers. I was at the Des Moines Catholic Worker for 5 years and have visited Catholic workers from Texas all the way to Champaign, Illinois, and Chicago, usually doing work as a carpenter or electrician,
right,
and making enough money to continue the farm down in Chiapas.
So you have a farm down in Chiapas?
We do. We have rabbits for meat.
Wow.
We have chickens, huge gardens.
Right.
And we have worms, California red worms, to produce our organic fertilizer, and then fruit trees, almost 40 fruit trees now.
Amazing.
And we've been working with our neighbors. Worms are a hot ticket at the moment in Chiapas.
Is that right? Why is that?
Because coffee growers can get twice their money if they can prove that their coffee's grown organically. And so what we're doing is we're using coffee husks in our worm bins. And so all the things that are taken away from the coffee tree are processed back through with worms.
Wow.
And so we're beginning to work with our neighbors.
All right.
We now have 7 families that are growing worms as
cool.
well.
Oh, cool. Now, this is land that you acquired down there? How is
It
that?
is. Yes. I'm married an indigenous woman, and we bought the equivalent of about 7 acres.
Okay.
And it's been about 5 years, no, 7 years now. And we built the shop where I brought a wood shop, and I brought down my father's and my grandfather's tools.
Wow.
And we've been working ever since on building a house and a guest house.
Yeah.
And
wow. Exciting.
We also raise Great Pyrenees dogs.
All right. Wow.
And
so, just for general information, if people want to get in touch with you, what is a website or an email that you might pass on to people?
My email is always available through Via Pacis, the newsletter from the Des Moines Catholic Worker. But it's basically Flamer, F-L-A-M-E-R, Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D, all lowercase, at hotmail.com.
That's simple. Okay. So, all right.
And then we
so
don't...
Flamer.Richard or just Flamer Richard?
Flamer Richard.
Flamer Richard at hotmail.com.
Right.
Okay.
And we try to work with refugees as they're coming through. We're having some troubles these days with Mexican migrant authority because they're criminalizing the works of mercy. A priest, for example, in Oaxaca just went to jail for 10 years for housing 3 Guatemalan families.
So these are refugees you're talking about, Guatemalan refugees?
Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama.
Right.
And as the U.S. cracks down on the border up here, Mexico is cracking down on the border down there. Additionally, there are huge problems of violence along the border.
Well, we've all heard the stories about the trains and the deaths and the exploitation, and I mean, yeah.
Well, and again, that has its roots in the American culture because the gangs that started in Central America didn't exist until 1982 when they were formed up in L.A. and Dallas and of the Salvadorans and the Nicaraguans and the Hondurans.
Yeah.
And then they were exported back to their countries, their host countries. And then the countries down there passed these stringent laws so that you can go to jail in Honduras for 2 years if you have a tattoo.
Wow.
Any tattoo.
That's
no trial.
sickening.
No trial.
Lord.
Straight to jail for 2 years. So with those kinds of draconian laws, all the gang members have gone north, and there's this kind of no man's land between Guatemala and Mexico where they've all congregated.
Wow.
So it's gotten way worse the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we also work with our neighbors, and I just recently put in electrical lines. I used to be an electrician, and I just put in electrical lines at the school in front of our property.
Oh man, what a reward.
And now that makes them eligible for computers from Microsoft.
Wow.
And so it looks like next year they're going to be able to get computers.
Congratulations. That sounds exciting.
And for an elementary school.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, we can, sit down and talk for hours, but this is a good start, so let's do a little more tomorrow. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. All right. Great pleasure. Thank you.
Are you doing anything with video as a rule?
Not much, no. No.